Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Co-Living Life. I'm Dr. T. Today, we have a very special guest. She's a trailblazer, literally and figuratively, in the expat community. We have Lisa Riley. We're just going to let her introduce herself because there's so much bundled up in this one beautiful woman. So we want to hear it all. So, Lisa.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm excited to be here today. It's been a very challenging day. It started with being at the beach this morning, watching the sunrise. Oh, I just want to throw that in. Hey, everybody, I'm Lisa Riley. I'm the founder of Hermano Mana here in Playa del Carmen, Mexico, and from California. And I've been here going on 4 years, amazing years. And I started out in tech. I worked for Lockheed Martin for about 17 years. And here I am. I ended up in Mexico because I needed to shift my life. And I have such amazing stuff to share with you to empower you today. So I look forward to sharing my transformation with you.
That's what we need. So, why Mexico? Tell us about why you chose Mexico and how you got there. Because that's the wow.
I'm from the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was doing I took a layoff package at Lockheed Martin in 2017. And I'm like, okay, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I'm free, right? Took a layoff package, got my severance. I started a nonprofit, Odo Synergy Services Women of Color Global Entrepreneur Network, doing economic development conferences for women of color, Black women. I partnered with SBA, SBDC, Department of General Services. And everything just got really, really crazy. But I was at a Black Chamber event in Silicon Valley in 2018, and the keynote speaker spoke about Mexico. My brother, he has an international construction firm, Fred Jordan. And so he talked about how we are global and we are all over the world. We relocate, moving all over the world. And Mexico has Afro-Mexicans.
No.
I was like, what? Never heard. We don't hear about this stuff.
No, gosh, no.
And so he started telling the story, and then they are established in Oaxaca, Guerrero, and Veracruz, Mexico, in the middle of the country. And this was pre-COVID. And he was saying, you guys need to get out there. You need to see your primos. And I'm like, oh. And I talked to him after. And so then it was embedded in my brain. I was like, Mexico. I started meeting sisters. Mexico started coming across my Facebook and everything started happening, alignment, right?
Right.
And so I interviewed a sister who was in the Bay Area for a Black Bourbon Society event. And she explained how she left corporate. Everybody leaving corporate, everybody looking for that sweet spot, right? And she started a luxury travel company called Up in the Air. Her name is Claire Swords, and she travels around the world doing luxury travel. And she happened to live in Mexico at that time. She's gone now. But she does high-end luxury travel. So really trips to Africa, going to wineries inside of the caves in Paris and Iceland. I mean, heavy stuff.
Okay.
And so I came in 2019 and I met some sisters. One from Africa, one from the Caribbean. We're sisters, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, I love this. I love the feel. And we were hanging out at the ocean. 2021, I had 6 bags packed. And COVID hit.
Right.
And so I thought, I can't do this anymore. I had exhausted all my savings. I had a team for my nonprofit. Was too competitive with the nonprofit, and then COVID shut everything down. And also, I was changing my mind, my body, my soul. I didn't want to live that life anymore. I didn't want to live that superficial world. I was waking up, becoming conscious. And also, a trip to Paris contributed to that too. Prior to my getting the layoff, I was seeing the world. Came to Mexico in the first couple of weeks. It was my birthday, 60th birthday or something. 16 women showed up to this rooftop party that I hosted. And I was like, that's it, I'm home. And so I realized that something's going on here right now. And I've never lived outside of the country. I never had an
Right.
interest to live outside the country, but single,
Uh-huh.
no husband, no children, from the Bay Area, and burned out,
Mm-hmm.
right? Corporate, from my nonprofit, from trying to make everything happen, right?
Yes.
And so later on, I went back and got my car and drove across the country. I hired me amiga, who was my taxi driver here, and I flew her to Tijuana. And I drove my car from Silicon Valley to Tijuana, picked her up, and we drove 7 days to Playa del Carmen. Oh my, that's an ebook.
7 days, you said?
7 days. It was
All
supposed to be
right.
5 days, and it turned into 7 days because we eliminated some cities.
All right.
Because it
Why?
was too long. It was too
Okay.
long. It would have been too long. It would have taken us literally like 7 to 10 days, more like 10 to 12 days
Mm-hmm.
to get. And I'm paying her.
Got it.
I'm paying her for her time and the time she lost driving her
Mm-hmm.
taxi here by the apartment. So then later on, I'm like, okay, I want to contribute back to the country. I want to give back. And I don't want to be a colonizer. I ain't trying to hang out on the rooftops and party and act like I'm a rich American. I wanted to work with women, so I wanted to work with underserved, underrepresented women like I was doing. I said, let me start in mano a mano, sister to sister.
Mm-hmm.
And as we discussed, my friend created the poster that we have in the bag, that beautiful painting in the bag.
Beautiful.
And I started an organization here called Mano a Mano, where we create a platform, a space for women to market their businesses, underserved women who don't really have a lot of money, who can't market their businesses. So I go to hotels and restaurants and venues, and then I rent them the tables and stuff. I do all the marketing, and people show up and buy their stuff.
Wow.
So that happened in 2022. I partnered with a local imana who had a healing center, Cocoyamos, Mexican sister. Because the point is, Black women need to learn from the Mexicans. We're in their country. We're in their country, and we need
Absolutely.
to learn how to partner and learn how to navigate, because we just want to come here and just party and have a good time. But my spirit wasn't feeling that. I was like, I need to give back if I'm going to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward, we had other small events and venues. Last month, I had an event in a local rooftop, and I gave away 4 small grants. So now I'm like, it's time to learn how to give away money.
Yes. What
It's
what
time
what
to
was the
learn how to give back.
criteria for the grants?
There wasn't, because these women, some of them don't have business licenses and stuff like that. You have to have what's called an RFC to have a business license. You got to
Mm-hmm.
pay taxes. They're not making enough money. The average Mexican family may make about $500 a month. Our 500, it's 10,000 pesos. You can't
Mm-hmm.
survive on that. They can barely survive on it. So
Mm-hmm.
anything extra. So my criteria was small businesses that we had worked with before.
Okay.
So, and we gave out for 2 like kind of nonprofit organizations and 2 small business. One was a plant-based restaurant,
Mm. Lovely.
and everybody has a story. This amiga has a plant-based restaurant where she learned how to cook holistically, healing foods, because she almost died.
Wow.
Another woman is another Mexican woman who has another group for young entrepreneur women to teach them how to do eyelashes and teach them
Beauty.
job skills. And so she does something similar, but all Mexican women.
Okay.
So we're going to be partnering on some stuff together. And then another organization called Breath of Life.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, they are so amazing. They feed people.
Mm-hmm.
They get medicine for people.
Mm-hmm.
They get donations for people. It's an amazing organization here in Playa del Carmen. And who was the other one? There was a fourth one. I can't remember who the fourth one was. But I said, and it was like 1,000 pesos. So it was like $50.
Okay.
They can pay a bill. They
Right.
can pay a water bill.
Absolutely.
They can pay whatever. Maybe they couldn't pay their employee that month. So the goal now is to do crowdfunding and do fundraising, working with my connections, my peers in the United States, influencers, people like your organization, to do crowdfunding and fundraising, create a crowdfunding platform where a couple of times a year we can give money away.
Wonderful. Now tell me about so the opportunity for small businesses to come in and kind of get some assistance and get set up. Do you have any expats that are coming in for that kind of support? Because a lot of
Mhm.
people they want to move, they're thinking about where to live and who to live with, but oftentimes the income side of things, um, and many have residency or qualify for residency, let's say, at least temporary, but they don't
I have my
understand the
temporary
business.
residency. Yeah.
Okay, good. I do too. But they don't understand the process or they think it's insurmountable, the process for actually getting registered and how to function and how to, generate some income. What what would you say would be the first step? Reach out to you?
Okay. I've had people reach out to me. I'm partnering with a woman who works for the city government who is, there's a big transition because they had a big presidential election,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
a woman.
Hmm.
And actually here in Playa del Carmen, the new mayor is a woman also. So the president of the country is a woman, and the women are taking over. So there are people that have consulting businesses that will help people get their temporary residency, get established in the different cities and locations. They're immigration specialists.
Got it.
Uh, but sometimes you got to do a comparison analysis. So you want to call somebody that you know, me or whoever. I can refer you to somebody because a lot of people are out to make big bucks, and it can cost a lot of money if you get the wrong person.
Yes.
And so I was fortunate. I didn't pay them. I must have paid like $200 to get some paperwork done. But I figured the system out, and I was able to go fly back to California to the Mexican consulate and get my own appointment and get everything set up and get all my paperwork done. Fly back here and go to immigration, and I had an attorney do my paperwork here locally, which is like $50, and get in for my temporary residency. So
Hmm.
next year I'll be a permanent resident of Playa del Carmen.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Look at how that time passed. I mean, my
The time
goodness.
passes too, but you want to stabilize your status here because you don't want to have to deal with the 180-day tourist visa, right? Because sometimes when you go to the airport, they'll give you 7 days or
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks or whatever. And so you don't want to play with that. If you don't, you want to visit and get acclimated to the area and get familiar. But there's so many resources in the different cities, in the different regions for consultation. People can go on Facebook. People can go on the internet. In my ebook, I give resources on how to get information to drive your car in the country. What are the
Mm-hmm.
different government entities? Here's some websites. So it's also a resource directory.
Okay.
And I think I'll have a part two. You can also go to YouTube. People go to YouTube and get information because there are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of Afrocentric people in the different regions on YouTube. Merida,
Mm-hmm.
Mexico City,
Mm-hmm.
um,
San
um,
Miguel.
but San
Mm-hmm.
Miguel. Oh my gosh, San Miguel Allende is a big one. There's a whole ton of retirees in San Miguel, Black Afrocentric retirees in San Miguel. So Mexico is a hot spot for folks to come here globally from all over the world. It's amazing. So it's
Yeah.
not just Mexicans, it's not just Mayans, it's not just indigenous people. There's people from all over the world. There's Jewish people, there's Iranian people, there's Chinese people, there's Japanese people. The food, you can get any kind of food you want here. It's
Okay.
amazing.
So in Playa, have you co-lived or what's your plans around co-living? Because maybe was it late last year or January? We talked a little bit about co-living and where are things now?
So I created a tiny home community because I was fascinated with being 64 years old and retiring and what am I going to do? Who am I living with? What's going to happen to me as I age and become incapable of taking care of myself? And so I've been looking at land and I created this tiny home group and I have some people starting up and from different regions too because that's the thing here, right? And some are women. It's amazing because women have land. They were married to Mexicans and they got divorced and got some land.
Okay.
So now I know realtors and people here. The land I want is off the grid because I'm concerned about the concrete jungle in smart cities.
Yes.
Technology taking over and 5G taking over, right? And making people sick and policing people. There's a lot of that happening around the world. And so I found a beautiful community called Pueblo Stock Bay. It has three cenotes, which is like big, beautiful
Oh my
watering holes
gosh.
and caves and stuff. And it's off the grid. It's about 200 families that live out there. It's right on the edge of the city. And I wanted to be in the city because people buy land way out. You can go way out and get land for 20,000, 15,000. I mean, cheap, inexpensive, right?
Hmm.
This land is a little bit more pricier, but it's right within the city confines where I can get to hospital, medical, get food delivered, stuff like that. So I'm not trying to move far away. And I wanted to create a community, a healing community for women to come. So I had this vision about using containers. So I start researching containers, hemp, which is another material to build. You know about hemp.
Yes.
I have friends in New York who's on some kind of state committee to restructure houses using hemp material because it's very strong. They do have some hemp buildings here, but hemp is not a big thing. Sargassum on the beach, the
Oh,
seaweed that
yes.
keeps on the beach, they're converting that to build tiny homes for local communities and indigenous communities here. It's amazing.
Wow.
And so they have sargassum facilities. So they're
Hmm.
taking the waste and they're converting to land.
Awesome. Yes.
So that's still on the table, but I need to do some fundraising because I don't have the funds that I needed for that community. But it's still there. The owner's still willing to work with me. And I was working with some sisters, some women, but everybody started going their own way because it's a scary challenge to co-live and spend $20,000 on partnering on some land.
Hmm.
And it's cost effective if people
Yes.
really.
Very much so. Very much so.
Mexico's laws are different. So
Hmm.
that's what scares me.
I get it. Yeah. I did a video recently on co-buying. And there's been some kind of mixed you know, comments, but I think it's more as people become more aware and there's more advocacy around it. I think folks will realize it's a viable option. Definitely a viable option.
They definitely have to educate themselves, and I'm not as afraid of it as I was before because I've delved into it.
Yes.
One of my good friends is a realtor property manager here, so we'll be talking about that future. We can do some sessions with you on
Awesome.
that. And it's a little bit, it's just how they do things here. You have to get um, knowledgeable and get a good lawyer and, understand all the different pieces.
Hmm.
But the resources are here and it's not as complex. And there are American companies, mortgage companies coming here and they're offering loans.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so now is Playa gonna be it, or are you kind of gonna have your foot in a couple of cities, spreading your message, or what's your 2025 plan?
Well, my original plan for Mano Mano was to go to the different regions and expand it and build community with female entrepreneurs. And the restructuring a bit is based on healing, mind, body, and soul, spiritual business model, because we're struggling. We're struggling with pre-COVID, post-COVID. The way the universe is moving now, there's so much change going on, and the way we should do things in the past no longer exists anymore. And so I have this healing, spiritual healing concept that I'm implementing and molding right now as we speak. And I have a big event coming up on Saturday around healing and what's happening in the universe and around how we used to look at things and the transformation in our lives and how we need to focus on healing and spirit in addition to as we create sustainable businesses.
Oh, what
Because
a
we
nice
need
mix.
healing. We need
Yeah,
healing.
absolutely.
Right? Because we're coming from different places in the world, different regions, and we want to survive and learn the economic systems in these countries. And so we need to shift our brains. So it's a matter of shifting. educated, but also we can't do things the old way. So we have to learn the new processes and we have to incorporate spirit.
Yes.
So when
Wonderful.
I'm dealing with women in that space that are really spiritual and they're therapists, and um, it's it's a very interesting experience right
Is it virtual or it's face to
now. No, it could be virtual later on. Right now, I my brain is just like all over the map. So I'm trying to hone in if I'm bringing these other women with different skills that I don't have.
wonderful.
Um, Structure.
Hmm. Okay.
And we're trying to
Sometimes there's a
focus on
visionary and folks who implement.
girl. And now everything is coming together, the collective, um, to pull the like mind alignment together to make sure we're all on the same page and make sure people are going to be consistent. And then we can expand retreats.
Yes.
Right now, we're doing stuff in person around music, around healing music, around retreat healing, sound bowl healing. One of my girlfriends is an amazing singer, and she's creating some healing music for our community right now. But we're Mexico is a vortex. It has a healing vortex here,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Believe that.
It's drawn all these people from all over the world. And it's a lot to sift through, but once you make the right connections with the right people,
Mhm.
you get connected. You get that connected, that synergy. And I'm working on the synergy. I'm feeling it now, finally, for once in all these years. And there's some magic happening.
Wow. I love it. I mean, we like I said, we talked, I remember talking back in January, just kind of briefly, and all the things you talked about, you're doing it. It's happening.
It's funny because it's when you put it in the universe,
Yeah.
and when you speak it every day and you think it every day and you're intentional about it and you move the negativity away, right? And when I'm learning to wake up every day with gratitude because I'm here. I'm like, and I have problems like everybody else, but I'm like, I'm here and I'm like, I'm thankful. I have a roof over my head. I got food. I got wills. I got health. I got imanas that they bless me. They call and check on me. I don't have anything to complain about. People
Absolutely.
complain about, oh, the police do this to you, or they take money away from you, or they extort you. Shut up. We're in a country where we can live our best lives and take our income from Estados Unidos, the United States, and live
Mm-hmm.
comfortably
Mm-hmm.
among people that don't have as much as we have.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they are willing to partner with us. And yeah, people take advantage of stuff, but you weed those people out over time. But to partner with these people, they're smiling, they're riding their bicycles or their motorbikes with their children on the motorbikes. They're smiling. They're kind. It's such peace to be a part of that,
Wow.
to breathe that in and
Mm-hmm.
say, I don't have nothing to worry about. What I'm
Complain
around
about.
peace. It's
Right.
tranquil.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Sunset, sun rises in the morning. There's like 50, 60 people out there. They get out early, like 5 or 6 in the morning. I was there at 6:30 a.m. There's a bunch of people out there sun gazing in the water,
Lovely.
frolicking in the water like children. And I was like, I don't want to frolic. Let me take my clothes off. No, but I have some amazing pictures, and just to be able to share those and sit there and have that experience because I couldn't couple of weeks ago I couldn't get up. I couldn't move because my body was filled with it was inflamed.
Mm-hmm. 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 And look at you today. And then all you filled me in on, you know, uh, when we talked earlier in the week, I'm like, my gosh, you gotta come and share and tell us. You gotta share in the community. Of course I will have your links and all your information in the description. But the ebook, let's wrap up. on the ebook, where you are with it, how people can get access. Um, yeah.
So it's on Amazon, but we're having some problems because it's not connected to the U.S. It's only Mexico. And so we're getting that work through. And actually, I'm working with a sister from California who has a publishing company, Amari Publishing. And then I'm partnering with another sister in Oaxaca, who you'll meet later. She has her own Airbnb she built. That's another beautiful story.
Yes,
And
we need to know.
yeah, you need to know. You need. I want you to interview her. So for the community, so we can plan some trips to Oaxaca because I'm planning a retreat in the spring of 2025.
Okay.
But she took my ebook. She's published. She took my ebook. She's like a PhD in everything, right? She took my ebook and she put voice to it, and she made my ebook come alive.
Wow.
And she broke it down in chapters, and she's putting it on her platform on YouTube. It is freaking amazing. I cried when I listened to her. She's using her voice, and she just took my journey and just broke it down, the different pieces, driving across the country, the beauty of the country, my story leaving corporate America. And, sometimes we pause, we don't initiate writing, we don't think we have anything to write about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We all have phenomenal stories, and I encourage people to write their
Let's
stories.
start.
Because we all have phenomenal creative stories. We're creators, and the ebook is going to be on YouTube, and we're cleaning it up so we'll have it on Amazon USA and Amazon Kindle Mexico.
Wonderful. Listen, I want to thank you. Please keep us posted. You know, it's like
I
you're
want
on
to
the
thank
move.
you. You didn't forget about me. You kept falling
No.
through. Everybody's busy. The
Yeah.
world is crazy. Everybody's like inundated with details and challenges and survival, right?
Yeah. But
And so this is a beautiful time. So
it
thank you.
is. And thank you for giving yet another set of resources for the sisterhood and keeping that focus on communal interactions and the collective. Because, coming from the States, sometimes that's a difficult transition for us. But to have a place to go, a place to heal, a place to do business, I mean, it's great. You're doing a good thing. Um, Keep
Love
us
you. Thank
posted.
you. Thank
Yes,
you. It's all about the healing, really, ultimately. And
yes,
it's
yes.
all about the healing.
All right. Thanks again. We'll we'll follow you if we can. You're all over the place. You're a busy lady. Got a lot of things going, but we appreciate you.
Thank you, my sister.